Hello everyone and welcome to a Sim Spotlight on Ash Greene. Ash is one of the Generation 2 children of the Greene Family Legacy and will be one of the Sims we explore the Sims 4 Get Together expansion pack with. Before we dive into what he's been up to recently in life, let's review what happened in Season 1 and Season 2 of the Greene Family Legacy. Ash was born as the third child to Tate and Iris Greene, and was only a few minutes younger than his twin sister Holly. Twins was a big surprise for the family, but their years as infants went by easily with so many family members to take care of them. Despite being raised in a loving family, Ash grew up into a bit of a troublemaker. He had a lot of misplaced energy as a child that made him lash out on occasion, especially at his more timid twin sister Holly. Ash didn't mean to be a particularly bad kid, he just didn't go out of his way to be a good kid either. He was pretty hot-headed and opinionated, but under his tough exterior was a clever, energetic child with a bright mind and an early sense of confusion about where he could fit into the world. Ash ended up spending a good majority of his childhood playing by himself as a result of chasing off any potential playmates. He tried to pretend that he didn't mind, but he was pretty lonely, even with the love of his family. It was hard for him to rely on that love too much, even from his mother, because of the tough facade he felt he had to keep up. As a teenager, Ash finally began finding a niche he could fit into among online gaming groups. There he found other people who understood, or at least tolerated, his slightly more aggressive personality. And oddly enough, he didn't feel the need to pick as many fights after he felt like he fit into a group of friends. Gaming took over a huge portion of Ash's life, so much so that high school proved to be very hard for him. He stayed up late most nights playing games and neglected his homework. Thankfully, his sister Holly stepped up to help bring his grades up high enough that he was just able to squeak by. But just barely was good enough for him. Ash paid enough attention in school to just pass his classes, and then ignored most everything else for the more vivid and interesting lives he lived out in his gaming communities. However, all the time and devotion he put into his games did pay off. He became pretty well known for being an expert in several game systems, and even began learning how to design codes to mod his favorite games. His talents may not be traditional, but they were growing. Ash did have a little balance in his life though, his midnight runs. Although he spent most of his day at the computer, he actually had quite an active personality and would put on his sneakers each night in order to go on a long run in the quiet, sleeping neighborhood. He also did try to cultivate friendships with the other teens in the neighborhood, and did have some success. He hung out with a small gaming group and became best friends with Olivia Spencer, who he quickly developed a crush on. The two were best friends for years, even after Olivia rejected Ash's request to be his girlfriend. When Olivia moved away to go to college in another town, Ash felt cut adrift, and suddenly realized how empty his in-person life seemed to be. Ash moved in with his twin sister Holly after the two of them moved out of their parents' house in order to save on bills, or at least that's what he said. In all honesty, he wanted to stay close to his one real-life best friend, his sister Holly. Ash's daily life revolved mostly around gaming and doing just enough work on coding projects to cover the bills. He hated to admit it, but lately things were beginning to feel a little hollow and boring. The things he was proud of didn't seem to be as awesome anymore. Even things like his pristine My Sims collection had just become a little embarrassing, especially since he lacked so many pieces of the collection. For a long time, every day repeated pretty much the same pattern. Wake up on the couch, spend the day gaming or watching shows online, eat some pizza for dinner with Holly, and then pass out as the sun started to rise. Most days, he still went on his runs too, and it was during these long stretches that he began feeling the niggling sense that he wanted more out of life. Just what that was, though, he wasn't entirely sure. He loved gaming and didn't mind learning how to code, but wasn't there anywhere that would have more people like him? Friends he could meet and hang out with, party with, and play games with at his house? Thankfully, his twin suggested a life-changing idea that seemed to be exactly what he needed: moving to a new town called Windenburg. Holly was excited for the music scene, but what caught Ash's attention was the fact that Windenburg hosted a lot of competitive arcade and computer gaming events. Maybe there, amid all the music and clubs, he could find the corners where other people like him were hanging out. Maybe there, he could make some new friends and move on into a new, exciting phase of his life. We'll be following Ash and Holly on their adventures in Windenburg soon. See you then!